Hi, this is Gary Bennett in the Office of Sports Psychology in the Virginia Tech Athletics Department. I was at a recent Virginia Tech sporting event watching a team that I work with, and in particular I was watching them as they warmed up for the contest. I noticed one team member who just didn't seem her usual self. Her energy, her body language was just not what I was accustomed to seeing. Subsequently, she went out and had what I would consider a subpar performance for her. When I spoke to her the next time, we reviewed what had happened that night, and she admitted she could tell her energy was low going into the contest, but really didn't do anything to change that. I think this is really not an uncommon experience with athletes. All too often, we don't take the responsibility to ensure our minds and our bodies are properly prepared to compete. It's almost like we leave that to chance. This ties into my topic for today, which is energy management, or it's also known as arousal regulation, or more simply, intensity. Intensity is made up of two components: the physical sensations of intensity, which is what your body is experiencing, things like muscle tension, rapid heart rate, or the other end of that would be feeling very relaxed. And the second part is your perception of that intensity. Basically, do you experience that intensity as being a positive or negative thing? Two athletes can feel the very same physiological response, but interpret those feelings in very different ways. For example, either as excitement, which will help the performance, or as anxiety, which could potentially interfere with performance. Obviously, there are different demands when it comes to intensity based on the sport and on the individual. For instance, a golfer standing over an important putt on the 18th hole doesn't require the same level of intensity as a middle linebacker on a 4th and short situation. And within sports, there can be quite a bit of individual variation as well. What's important is that you figure out what level of intensity you need to play your best. So think about some of your best sport performances and some of your worst. What was your energy or intensity level like before and during those performances? Maybe even rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, with a 1 being practically falling asleep and a 10 being basically bouncing off the walls with energy. This should help you calculate what is known as the optimal level of arousal. If you notice your intensity level is low, practice some techniques for increasing your energy, like listening to some music that helps fire you up, using some energizing imagery or verbal cues, or draw energy from the environment or a hostile crowd or your opponent. Overintensity can be addressed by using breathing or relaxation exercises. There are lots of different breathing exercises that can help, but you can start by just focusing on your natural breathing rhythms while letting negative thoughts go. Or if you're carrying a lot of tension in your body, try some type of muscle relaxation technique like progressive muscle relaxation, which is a technique where you alternate between tensing and relaxing your major muscle groups. To perform your best, take charge of being physically and mentally ready to perform. Be aware of your ideal intensity levels and have some strategies available to adjust your energy to those levels when it's time to compete.